Hi everyone, so you're nearing the end. You're at video number 8, and that means you've just got to finish the practice for video 8, and you go on to video number 9, and then summer work is done. All right, so today we're going to be doing one of my favorite things, clearing equations of fractions. Clearing equations of fractions. Yes, let me say that again. Getting rid of equations that have fractions in them? No, getting rid of fractions in our equations. All right, so sometimes we're going to be given equations, like the first example I gave you, that have fractions in them. And we don't really like to deal with fractions. We make mistakes with fractions. So what we need to do first is we need to figure out a way to get rid of them. So here's a process. First, find the LCD. Then multiply the LCD to every part of the equation, every single term of the equation to remove the fractions. Then solve the equation. Remember, the point of this is to get rid of the fractions, so you have to remember that. If you still have fractions in your equation, you didn't clear them. You didn't get rid of them. All right, so here's an example. I look at all the denominators, and if you want to, you can put a denominator, you can put this number over 1. And I see that the lowest common denominator that I can find, the number that they all have in common, is 6. All right, so I'm going to take that 6 and I'm going to multiply 6 to each term of the equation. Put it on this side. Not going to forget any term because whatever you do to one side of an equation, you have to do to the other. All right, so then I multiply. So 2/3 times 6. Well, I can simplify. 3 goes into 6 2 times. Then 2 times 2 gives me 4x. Okay? Then I do it again. If you have to put the 6 over 1 and it helps. 2 goes into 6 3 times. 3 times 1 is going to give me 3x. All right, again, 6 over 1. 6 goes into 6 one time. So 5 times 1 is just 5. And then this 6 is over 1 as well. So I have to multiply 6 times 2x, which is going to give me 12x. So now look, I've created an equation without fractions in it anymore. All right, so now I'm going to combine the like terms on each side. So over here I can add the like terms and I get 7x equals 5 plus 12x. Remember in the last video, one of my suggestions was to bring the smaller variable to the larger and subtract or do the opposite. The reason I do that is that it always will give me a positive value, a positive x value. So 12 minus 7 is 5x. Now I'm going to subtract this 5 to the other side. So I get negative 5 equals 5x. To get rid of the 5 in front of the x to isolate it, I'm going to divide both sides by 5. So negative 1 equals x. Now, I can also write that using the symmetric property as x equals negative 1, which is probably the way you're used to seeing it. All right, let's try one more. All right, so first I want to identify my LCD. Should write that down for yourself. So in this case, my LCD, it looks like, is 8. Again, I'm going to multiply 8 to every single term of the equation. So there's 4 terms. I got to multiply 8 4 times. All right, so 8 goes into 8 one time, so 1 times 7 gives me 7x. 4 goes into 8 2 times. 2 times 3 gives me 6. 2 goes into 8 4 times. 4 times 1 gives me 4x. And 2 goes into 8 4 times, and then 4 times 3 gives me 12. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. All right, now I'm going to balance the equation. I'm going to subtract the 4x to both sides. I'm also going to subtract the 6 all in one step to both sides, getting 3x equals 6. And then I'm going to divide by 3 to get x equals 2. All right, guys, this video is so helpful on standardized tests or just to make equations simpler. And a lot of the different tests that you take, we throw fractions in them not to scare you, but to see if you really think about ways to make them simpler for yourself. We always want to try to make things simpler for ourselves when we're doing different jobs. So again, this idea of clearing fractions is a great tool. All right, have fun trying the practice. Bye.